Starting take two in 3, 2, 1, go! Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to Take Two right here on the Voices on the Net Network. Appreciate having all of you tuned in. If you've tuned in, great. If you're going to tune in, great. Glad to have you here. Ronnie and I are back for yet another episode of the show. We are really glad to be here. Great show planned for each and every one of you. Hey, Ronnie, how is it going over in Ronnieville?
It's going great.
Yeah, great to hear. All right, we'll find out all of that spiel, you know. We always see how you're doing, and we really do have a great show planned for everybody. But before getting into all of that, if those of you tuned in right now would be so kind, please visit www.vonthenet.com. That is www.vonthenet.com, the Voices on the Net Network's website, where you, the great listeners, will be able to find more information regarding the Voices on the Net Network. Yeah, all you need to do in order to find that information out is go to the top of the website, where you will see the About link. You click it, and it will take you to a web page that will provide you everything you need to know pertaining to the network, and in thorough detail. Really a great guide for those of you that are new to the network. You have absolutely no clue what it is all about. Yet you may think it's a show, which it is not. The guide, that page, will give you whatever you need to know. It's all there. Now, you could also check out podcasts of any of the episodes from any of the shows. Yeah, and then, well, they're all available on demand for and at your very own convenience. So you can check all of these brilliant features out by going to www.theonthenet.com.
I love how you do those W's.
You love how I do the W's?
Yeah. www.
Yeah. Why is it? Do I do it a specific way?
Yeah, it just sounds. I just like how you do it. I try to do it. It's like
oh, I didn't know there was more than one way to do to say a W.
Yeah.
W. What? W. 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 All right. W. Yeah. All right.
.com.
Yeah. All right. It's. The goofiness has not subsided yet, and I don't think it's going to anytime soon. But that's okay. It means you're in for a great show, fun show. But yeah, W. But yes. we have to make it official. You have to make it official, Ronnie. W. Because, well, you do that at the beginning of every episode. You reach in your envelope and you check what episode it is, as we are trekking ever so W closer to the 300th episode of the show. But we're not there yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay. Go ahead.
My special skills, though.
W.
Today we are on episode 286.
There you go. Comes after 285. We are at episode number 286 of the show. 14 away from the next major milestone. Looking forward. We've done, I guess, past the mini milestone, the next mini milestone before we get into the next major one. So 4 away from the next mini milestone, which would be the 29th mini milestone. And then, of course, we approach the 300th, which we are looking forward to immensely. 300 episodes. That's pretty, yeah. W. But yeah, Ronnie, what's up over there? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm waiting for my gown. Should be here today.
Your gown should be, you still haven't gotten that thing yet?
Well, the first one that I ordered and received, come to find out when I went for approval of the gown.
Well, yeah, we know you got the wrong one.
It was the wrong one.
We know, but
so
this
now
was like a year ago.
Yeah, it's about a month ago. Now I finally am supposed to be getting mine today for my actual degree, I guess.
All right. Well, you deserve to have the right gown, Ronnie, at least. I mean, you did.
I thought black was black. I mean, you know.
You did endure.
Special.
Seriously, you did endure 4 years of chaotic, very tedious, very hard work. Yeah. I think you deserve to get the real gown, the right gown. No, it's a real. I think they're all real.
Real.
With the right gown. W. But yeah, you know.
Then it's time for pictures. So.
Right. Pictures.
I'm getting excited. 3 weeks, JJ. 3 weeks until I sign off from college.
Are you gonna have like a competition when you go to your graduation, Ronnie, of who can take the most pictures? You know, have you ever thought about it? If you go to any graduation, everybody and their mother and their grandmother has a camera in hand. Everybody.
They see how close they can get to the stage. And, yeah.
If you ever think about it, all of the occasions, events where you'll see the most cameras, graduations, parties, just major events and major occasions. But I would have to say graduation has to be in the top 5, in the top 3, in terms of what, the amount of people that have a camera. Big occasions, milestones in people's lives, where you want memories and so forth, which is so funny that we bring this up because my mother was looking for something in the basement of the house, and she found a bag of baby pictures, pictures from literally over 15, 20 years ago, Ronnie. And she tells me, JJ, you should put some of these up on the network's website.
Yeah.
I severed that tie right there by saying, absolutely not. No.
Send it to me. We'll get them on there.
Yeah, so I have to defend. I have to defend the right. I have to defend those pictures. I have to defend the fact that they're not going on the website. How's that?
Oh.
Yeah.
What would you do? You signed on one day and there they were.
Right. Well, could you imagine seeing baby pictures of JJ on the Voices on the Net Network's website? Seriously.
Well, does it involve, you laid on a rug, little caboodie in the air?
I look like an old man, put it that way. Yeah, everybody says I was a gorgeous baby, but I looked like an old man.
Nah.
Yeah, I did. I'm serious. I'm
okay,
serious.
we'll put one on the site.
Yeah, I know. Now it's like, well, I'm not going to believe you until I see it. Well, that's fine, because you're never seeing them.
I don't know. Never say never, JJ.
Never say never. What, if you just saw the Justin Bieber documentary or something? Are you a fan of his music? Because seriously, that's not going to fly here, Ronnie. Never say never. No, I'm just playing. Actually, I told you, I'm telling you, I'm not going to say I can't stand Justin Bieber because I enjoyed the documentary. Yep, crucify me for enjoying it. I just watched it the other day. I'm telling you, it was a good documentary. I'll tell you. Never Say Never, it's called. And it was a good documentary. It shows the progress through this kid's, where he started when he was a little kid, how he was interested in music and how he made it to Madison Square Garden, selling out the garden in under 20 minutes or under 30 minutes. Pretty amazing.
Wow.
But, yeah. But yes, hey, you never know. Maybe you will see some pictures up on the website. Who knows? But we do have something that I want to get into with you, Ronnie. And we all know that the value of $1, that's fiat currency, actual currency, paper money, changes all the time. But what if we were to use virtual money? Virtual currency. If you're a WoW player or you're say an MMORPG lover or a Farmville player, more than likely you have engaged in the exchange of virtual currency. Like, well, that should stay in the gaming world. It has no place whatsoever in the real world. Why not? Why? We're in a digital age. We use the internet all the time. We use the internet more than we ever have, and it continues to that fact increases. So why not? Why not figure out a way to save on all of the fees these centralized banks charge you to transfer money, to have your own check deposited into your bank account, where you're not actually getting the full check amount. It's enough that you have to take certain parts of your check for health care, Medicare, whatever you're going to be putting in there, Social Security. Then you have to pay more for fees because banks charge you for that. What if you were to find a decentralized way, to limit the amount, if not just take away the fees via transferring cash virtually? There were a way to do that, Ronnie. There is actually a way to do that. It's called Bitcoin, and it's been in the news because it was hacked, I believe.
Yeah.
And this is really the problem here. This is the problem, not an issue, a problem with virtual currency. But then again, the problem with fiat currency is, well, bank robbers can take a bank and simply uphold a bank, and there you have it. They're going to steal whatever they're going to steal there. So you have that debate to talk about, which we're going to go into right now. I want to hear what you have to say about this, Ronnie. And what do you think? What do you think of virtual currency? Where do you stand here? Is it too early? Do you think it's not really needed in our world, in our lives? What?
I think it's definitely needed. This is the first time that I ever heard. I mean, I play away all the time, so we've had that virtual gold. But if you think about it, it's the same bubble that we have with our own economy, with all economies, because the money that we do, the dollars, the exchanges that we have right now in our own system, not in the virtual world, in real life, is a bubble. So if everybody would just completely stop spending,
right,
that's it. It's done. So the money has no value in use, but only has a value in exchange. Why not do it on the internet? I mean, I understand that they do not accept PayPal, which is a pretty good thing on account that PayPal usually goes into the favor of the person that ends up scheming you or scamming you out of your money. They don't go through that. They get rid of that middleman. It's actually building an economy. Our economy is based on how much, just the gold that supports it. Some people say Fort Knox. I think it depends on the money chain. But that's how our economy sets in real life. This is no different if you go back into the day and age, 1800s, where they actually exchanged gold in real life for goods and services. This is no different. The only thing is you're getting rid of the middleman, and it's still the bubble value. I think it's a great idea. I mean, even though it got hacked, everybody's going to, I don't know anybody that's not susceptible to that. They usually are there to prove a point. But I think this is a great idea. I would love to try this out. But the idea is getting the gold in the first place, because you can't actually put money on there to buy it. You have to go through a maze of things to get it.
Well, there are numerous ways you can get Bitcoins. It's new. It's first off, we know Bitcoins are not going to be tangible products. They're not. They're just, you're not going to be able to feel, touch them. It's not fiat currency. This is going to be solely digital, all on the internet. But there are plenty of benefits to it. As of right now, there's a multitude of ways you can get your Bitcoins. You can trade them for real money. You can, of course, accept the Bitcoins as payment for, say, goods or services that you may do for somebody. This is where it gets tricky for those that are on that line of not understanding what Bitcoin's all about, and whether they do understand it or not. Creating a new block and participating in something called a mining pool. The amount of processes your computer can generate in order to yield Bitcoins. This is where I think it would need to change somewhat, because I think we could head into a very, very prominent direction if there was a way to literally do a service, accept actual virtual currency, the transfer of virtual currency, and how you would get that virtual currency, how to start, similar to how a centralized bank creates its own money. This is a decentralized way to accept virtual currency, a decentralized way. There's no major source creating this. This is created by the people, by the amount of processes your computer, for instance, generates. A block, in other words, the mining pool. So, for instance, if your computer, it happens to be quicker than mine, or yours is quicker than theirs, or whatever, your computer is going to be able to generate more Bitcoins. You're going to be able to purchase more items that way. So if you were to, say, spend $5,000 on a computer, you're going to generate more Bitcoins than somebody that has, say, a $1,000 computer. If you have a $2,000 computer, you're going to generate more Bitcoins than somebody that has a $700 computer. You understand? Mm-hmm. So you have... You would more than likely use fiat currency to purchase a computer, and then you let the computer do the job, do the work yourself. That is how this currency is then created, rather than having a centralized location like the Federal Reserve. Mm-hmm. You're now creating the currency yourself. Your computer's creating the currency. So everybody in the world has what it takes to create this currency. That's where it begins. from the individual's computer. Then as the computers just consistently create this currency, it's out in the world, the value continues to rise, that's where it starts up. I think it is a great start, Ronnie. I think this is a great start, the mining pool of where it's headed. However, some people just are less fortunate to have, say, a slower computer. And some people have a quicker computer. Some people have the means to get a quicker computer, where some people, they don't have the means to get a quicker computer. Does that mean they have to wait longer for their mining pool to generate more currency so they can purchase a new computer? Or can there be another way for Bitcoin to process currency? You understand now how it works now after I explained it?
Yeah, because I was like, trying to figure out what are they talking about, because first they were saying math. I was like, well, I'm done.
just think of the term decentralized. There's no one source creating this currency. It's us creating the currency. Our computers creating the currency to create value, to give it value.
That's pretty interesting, because also not only the fact that it's not just U.S., it's also euros.
Yep.
It transfers to all of that. What a great idea for us to be able to do.
Right.
Look at our economy the way it is now and the value of a dollar. I mean, you don't see the virtual, you don't see the internet going down away anytime soon at all. If anything, it's going to advance and improve.
Oh, yeah.
So, therefore, I mean, that would be endless for us, because you can still buy services online. There's certain sites if you go to Bitcoin, they'll show you the sites that actually accept this as currency. So I think that's a great idea. It also gets you out there, gets you exposed, find out what's going on. And I don't consider it a Ponzi scheme. There were some people that were considering it a Ponzi scheme. I don't really think it is.
Yeah.
On the stands, no.
Yeah. Listen, I think, and this began back in 2009, so we're only a couple of years into it, folks. We have a long way to go. This is simply the start of it. I think this is the direction we should be heading into, because I'm not saying get rid of fiat currency anytime soon.
No.
Don't get rid of paper money, but including another way for people to do business. How many people do business on their computers these days? Oh, my goodness, millions. So rather than placing their credit card into their computers, their bank accounts, that, while, there's going to be some effect in a negative manner to the banks that really depend on these people to deposit money and withdraw money, because they make their money on the fees they're going to charge. I think it could work out for the best in the long run if there's another way, a decentralized, such as Bitcoin, to transfer money, to process money, generate money, utilize currency to purchase the goods and services we would purchase with the fiat currency. It's the actual money, that paper money, and our debit cards, plastic, and so forth. However, clearly there's going to be high risk of hacks and people wanting to steal the money, such as what happened with Bitcoin. This was the first decentralized digital currency, and it suffered a personal data breach that I believe was worth $250,000 or $500,000. It was up there. It was around $500,000, I think. So, there's going to be the risk there. Then again, when you talk about fiat currency, there's the risk of a bank robber. That's not going away.
No,
you have cameras,
none of that's ever going away.
You have cameras that can help the situation, allow police officers and interrogation units and so forth. They could figure out who the bank robber is, similar to virtual currency. You have or techniques and so forth that can help track down hackers that engage in virtual bank robberies and so forth.
Well, you're always going to have those people, the hackers out there, because they're not doing it to cause a problem. They do it just because they want to show that they can. Because when someone says, it's hack free, there's no way to get it, this is how difficult it is. I don't care what it is. It's a challenge to a hacker, and they're going to try to do whatever they can to do to get themselves exposed, to get themselves out there, not by name per se, but by action to show that they can do this. But I mean, even Bitcoin gives the code to their program out there, so I don't see what the. I mean, they're thus far it seems to be very open, and I don't see why we shouldn't have a different type of currency that we would have online versus what we have and what we carry on us. When you're going to walk outside, you're going to get robbed at some point, whether it's someone gets into your ATM account, someone your store, whatever. There's always that chance, regardless of what venue you're using. So, I mean, people talk about a risk. There's risk in everyday life. Walking out your front door is a risk.
Absolutely. But I think if we talk about, we're going to move into the associations, but I just want to finalize what we're talking about here. And I'm glad we did go into this here. This is an awesome way to transition to digital currency. But what if we were to figure out, and I'm sure they're going to innovate. I'm sure Bitcoin's going to innovate, figure out other ways to process and generate the virtual currency. As of right now, those of you that just tuned in, how virtual currency is made from the user, by the user. The user's computers generate these currency. The user's computer generates and processes blocks, in other words. Basically, the CPU power, so if you have a $500 computer, and person A has a $500 computer and person B has a $2,000 computer, person B is going to have more CPU power, more processing power. They're going to generate Bitcoin or virtual currency faster than the $500 computer. Basically what happens, it's a mathematical problem. Every time the problem is solved, a Bitcoin is generated. So clearly the $2,000 computer is going to be able to solve a mathematical problem quicker than that $500 computer. But what if you were to say, this was based on, I just want to go into based on CPU power again. But what if there was another way to generate virtual currency? How about include something fun, comparable to what World of Warcraft does, comparable to what any MMO RPG does? Virtual farms. Include some fun way along with your computer's processing power, generating virtual currency. Allow somebody to mine just fake nodes, and however many nodes just say per 50 nodes you get one Bitcoin or one virtual currency, or tending to your virtual farm. Add another way that people can dedicate their time and generate this virtual currency. After all, you're trying to increase the value of that currency. After all, so why not figure out more ways to do that and include a bit of a fun factor along with that? I'm just speculating here. There are going to be other ways to do this, I'm sure. I'm just speculating how can we make it even fun to do so? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Think about what we do in WoW professions. You can do the same thing on the internet to earn that. I mean, if you're a writer, hey, you get to use it for Bitcoins or auctions. Look what we do online.
Right.
That would be a fun thing to do. Now, see, I would be interested in that.
Yeah, I think it would be, and I think for those that, I hope those of you listening now understand how Bitcoins are generated. But I'm just thinking, add another way. There's nothing wrong with. Now, we all know the value of a dollar as of right now via the Federal Reserve and all of the reserves from all of the smaller banks out there, all of the smaller branches out there, regulate the amount of money that's out there, because you don't want too much out there. Otherwise, the value will shift dramatically, and you don't want that, because we, of course, have inflation periods. You have periods where the value of a dollar won't be worth jack diddly, and that's not good. So it's important to keep an eye on the amount of money, the amount of currency in circulation. This is, remember, decentralized areas or decentralized locations. It's the users that are creating these currencies. So who knows how the value of virtual currency is going to compare to the value of fiat currency. It's going to be interesting to see over the next few years even how this evolves, because we don't know much about it right now, but we will come time. And Bitcoin is the first decentralized digital virtual currency database. If you want to check it out, go to the website at bitcoin.org. That is bitcoin.org, and you can find more information on what it is all about. All right, we do have to move into your associations on this 286th episode of Take Two right here on the Voices on the Net Network. You want to start us off, Ronnie, with an association over there? I know you've got a couple over there for us.
Yeah. There are 286 styles, flavors, colors, even glow-in-the-dark condoms available in the United States.
286 different styles, flavors of condoms out there
in the United States. Yes.
Wait a second. Wait. W. Wait a second. I think somebody just created a new condom. No, so I think you're one off now. I think somebody just as you were speaking, just created another style or another color or another flavor condom. Oh, you're one off. No, I'm just kidding. So 286, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, I would think there would be more than that. That seems like a big number anyway. I think there would be more. I would think there would be more than that, but 286, interesting.
Mm-hmm. I guess it depends on where you are.
Yeah. You know, it's not as the protection mechanism that a condom provides to you isn't enough. They need colors and flavors for, well, God knows what. I wouldn't know that. But, yeah. I think protection would be enough.
Can you imagine eating? What are you having? I'm eating my condom. Hold on.
That sounded so wrong. That sounded so wrong. Eating a condom. Would that be considered a double entendre? I guess it would be.
Yeah.
I guess it would kind of because.
Well, you have edible underwear, so edible condoms.
Well, I guess it would. Very interesting. You dirty mind, you. All right, I've got an association that has to do with this 286th episode of the show. Middletown High School in Connecticut, Hartford. Middletown High School class of 2011. We wish them luck in their future, of course, and congratulations to graduating high school. 286 graduates look back at their high school career and, well, prepare ahead for the college careers or whatever endeavors they may be ensuing upon. 286 graduates, Ronnie.
Wow.
Hartford, Connecticut.
And Connecticut's a small state.
Yeah. Well, 286. Is that a lot? Say if you were to go back to, say, your class, were there even that many, say, in your, even half of that? Now, you were from, well, say, a smaller area. Or were you in New Jersey when you were in high school?
Partly.
So,
yeah, I didn't graduate, so I couldn't tell you how much would have been. Probably in my class, probably would have been about 170, maybe.
All right, so it's not that much. Well, I guess 170. Yeah. I mean, it's over 100 smaller, but yeah, 286 people, folks. 286 graduates from Middletown High School in Connecticut.
It's a lot of names to announce.
Yeah. Well, you compare that to some of the colleges out there, and that's nothing. But then again, this is high school, so. All right, do you have any funny laws for us over there, Ronnie? I know you've got at least one for us.
Yeah. Okay. In Mexico, this is the law. The law states that bicycle riders may not lift either foot from the pedals, as it might result in loss of control. Doing so can equate 2 years in jail if you take your feet off the pedals.
If you take your feet off of the pedals, you will be spending time in jail.
2 years.
2 years.
That was passed in 1892. So that was section code 286.4. That was after a high school coach, was actually killed because he took his foot off of the pedal. I used to go down the road all the time with my feet off the pedals just to see that I could do that. No hands either.
Now you're chancing it. Now you're risking your life there. But how many people do that though? How many people goof around on their bikes?
Yeah,
a lot of people.
I do.
Do you have another funny law, or is that it?
Oh, yes, I do.
All right.
Indiana. Now, this is not an actual law. They tried to pass this. They tried to pass it 1897 in the Indiana General Assembly. It was Bill number 286, where they were going to state that the value of pi equals 3.
Really?
It never passed.
No, definitely not. The last time I had heard, It wasn't that, no.
Yeah, 3.1415 infinity.
Well, and so forth, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to get into Ronnie's stamp of reparation in just a moment, but it is time to thank our sponsor. That is right. This portion of the 286th episode of Take Two is brought to you by Audible.com, and we thank Audible for their generous support of the Take Two program as well as the Voices on the Net network. Now listen up, ladies and gents, because Ronnie and I have a great offer for each and every one of you, and you don't have to spend a single dime. You don't. It's free. Free, yeah, for 14 days. We're going to give you a 14-day, a 2-week free trial to browse over 85,000 audiobooks at Audible. Also a free audiobook, so you could browse and then choose a free audiobook there. We're so confident that you will enjoy this service. Ronnie and I are both subscribers at Audible. We enjoy it immensely. It's an experience really in itself that I think you will appreciate once you try it out. 85,000 audiobooks, always adding great audiobooks, new and great ones each and every day. So plenty to choose from. One free audiobook, a 14-day free trial at Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/take2 right now to take advantage of this offer. That is audibletrial.com/take2. You'll be glad you did. Even if you're not an avid reader, say you're used to maybe watching TV or watching movies more than reading, or say listening to your favorite podcasts, say radio stations, music. The auditory experience comparable to that right there, all of those. Really one that you should try if you haven't already. Rather than visually reading a book, traditionally reading word for word, why don't you take a load off, relax on your couch, relax in your chair, close your eyes, pop your headphones on, or I think you'd have to pop your headphones on first and then close your eyes. But either or, and enjoy your favorite book. Nothing to lose. 14-day free trial, 14-day free trial, and you're a free audiobook. All you have to do is go to audibletrial.com/take2. You'll be glad you did. As always, we thank Audible for their support of the Take Two program as well as the Voices on the Net network. Thank you once again, Audible. All right, Ronnie, it is now time to hear what you have to say. Give us your stamp of reparation. You've got the mic, Ronnie.
Oh, no. This story is going to really tear you apart. So I'm doing my part in bringing them down. We had Army Staff Sergeant. When he was in the military, he served in Afghanistan. His name is Sergeant First Class Sean Gittins. While in Afghanistan, he ended up suffering from a concussion, a brain concussion.
Right.
4 months after returning home, he ended up having a brain bleed, which was an aneurysm, that left him paralyzed and unable to speak. Now, here in the United States, we actually have groups, that out there that will help families in need, especially when they have to deal with the military. Unfortunately, I guess in Augusta, Georgia, in the place called Nob Hill, which is a homeowners association. Oh, I hate those people. Anyway, they're called Snob Hill today for this show because they have decided, this man does not deserve to live in their, quote, neighborhood because the home that is going to be built by a special group that goes out for veterans themselves, and they will build properties and build homes specifically for their needs. So therefore, if you need ramps, if you need access to go to the restroom, take a shower, go to the kitchen,
right,
this is what they do. However, unfortunately for this family, that they have decided that, they are not allowed there only because, get this, they think because 2,700 square feet is too small of a house to fit into their 5,000 square feet house neighborhood and will devalue their property. No, Ronnie is going to devalue your property. This is totally ridiculous. My house is 1,900, and they're going to tell me that devalues your property? No, it doesn't devalue it. Devalues it are the people that are in it. And this attitude is going to have to stop because you know what? This family has done everything they could to give these guys the rights to be able to live there in the first place. It's not Americans that are going to war. It's the military veterans that are going to war, that are fighting for your rights, your abilities. I haven't found anybody that's in favor of this homeowners association. And come to find out, it's not just the association. Some of the neighbors are involved in it, but a lot of the neighbors, about 300 of them, were unaware. that this was even going on. They had a pre-approval, which is called Homes for Our Troops.
Right.
Pre-approval to have this home built. They went, they designed it, they submitted the findings of it, and what it was going to look like, the specs, the whole 9 yards. And it was only later on that it was denied. But there is actually veterans that are in these neighborhoods of the SNAPOP that had no idea that this was going on. I wonder why. Why? Because they're military veterans and know and support the military when their people come home, their brothers, their sisters come home. We are to take care of them when something happens like this. What is such the big deal that you're going to tell me that 5,000 square feet homes, which probably hasn't got enough furniture in it to fill it up anyway, is going to devalue because you're putting in a 2,700 plus home in there for somebody who is handicapped? It disgusts me.
Oh, I feel bad for the guy. I really do. After all, he sacrificed and to be turned down at the last minute, too.
Yeah, they already bought the property.
Right.
The property's there.
Oh,
they
I know.
bought the property. They're just not allowed to build on it now.
Shame. Well, thank you, Ronnie, for your stamp of reparation. As always, we appreciate what you have to say. We have to go to the break on this 286th episode of Take Two. We're going to be back before you even have the chance to miss us. That's right. Ronnie is going to be featuring her movie report. That's right. It's a Friday episode of the show, so that means we do feature Ronnie's movie report. Also, a blast from the past at the end of the program. But what are we going to go into before all of that? Well, why do we tip? Why do you tip? Did you ever think? Have you ever analyzed how much you tip on a restaurant per restaurant basis, or anybody that's, say, conducting a service for you or doing something for you? Have you ever analyzed how much you tip? Do you change the amount you tip? Well, a study shows that the quality has limited, if not anything, to do with say somebody that's conducting a service, somebody that's doing something for you, say a waiter or a waitress or a painter. Interesting. Why do you tip? We're going to talk about these studies here, and we're going to go into some of the factors surrounding why we tip, the amount, say we tip. Does it matter if somebody's a poor waiter or a poor waitress? Do you still tip them, say $5? Versus somebody that did an optimal job, you're still going to pay them, tip them $5? We're going to touch on this. So much coming up. You don't want to go anywhere. Ronnie and I return right after the break, so stay tuned. Well, welcome back, everybody. That is right. Ronnie and I are back for the second segment of this 286th episode of Take Two, right here on the Voices on the Net network. And we really do appreciate having all of you taking the time out of your schedules to join us. We have a great second segment planned for each and every one of you. We're going to be talking about why we tip. Ever analyze why you tip? How much you tip? Well, there's a few studies out there that actually state that quality is not indicated or very limited in why we tip. And we're going to go into Ronnie's movie report as well as your blast from the past. So why would you want to go anywhere? So much coming up on this show, on this episode 286 of the show. But before we get into everything, if all of you tuned in right now would be so kind, please visit www.theonthenet.com. That is right. The Voices on the Net Network's website, where you, the great listeners, will be able to find more information regarding the Voices on the Net network. Yeah, all you need to do in order to check that information out is go to the top of the website. You'll see the About link. You click it. It will take you to a web page providing you everything you need to know pertaining to the Voices on the Net network, and in thorough detail, a great web page, a guide for those of you that are new to the network, know nothing about it. And you would like to find more information about it, rather than Ronnie and or I explaining it to you. That page will give you what you need to know. You can also check out podcasts of any of the episodes from any of the shows. And, yeah, well, they're all available on demand for and at your very own convenience. Yeah, so another reason why you should check that website out. You could also check out articles, my blog, plenty of content, all at www.theonthenet.com. All right. So, yeah, that was due. He knew it was due. W. But we have quite a bit to talk about. Let's not waste any time getting into this first item on the itinerary. Why do we tip? Hey, Ronnie, why do you tip? If you were to ask yourself that question, also, well, being asked by me, you analyze why you tip. You go to a restaurant, but the quality of your waiter or your waitress is horrible, yet you still tip them $5 or $6 on a $25 or $30 meal or so forth. Why would you tip them $6 when they were poor and tip the person that was excellent just a week ago the same amount? If you think about it, have you ever analyzed yourself in that situation? Why when you tip?
Not until now, because usually the reason why I tip is because I know how much money they're making an hour, so they live on the tips.
So that's a indicating factor that you equate, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll give them money, I'll tip them for their service, but I find out that if I'm having a lot of fun with the group that I'm with or whatever, I tip more.
Right.
Because it's not that I want better service. I think everyone wants better service. But
right.
Those are usually the two reasons why I tip, is because, number one, I know how much they make an hour. And two, it's because I'm having fun.
See, isn't that interesting and I think this is the case for so many people that are, say in the service industry, that conduct a service for you, whether they're painting your wall in your room, or they're bringing your food out, or they're mowing your lawn. This plays a major role. How happy or how sad or how your day's going or how your night's going or your personality or your emotions. Whether somebody, how somebody else that's sitting in front of you, or say the family across from you's their kids rambunctious and they're making you upset, all plays a factor in what you're going to tip the waiter or the waitress at a restaurant, or if you're at your home and somebody's mowing your lawn and you stub your toe as you're approaching the door to tip the person mowing your lawn. It's now going to affect how much you tip that person. It's amazing how that is an indicating factor, but it's common knowledge to be able to figure that out, because it really is true. And according to studies, it shows that the size of the tip has nothing to do, if not limited, something to do with the quality of service, that the weather, how sunny it is, what kind of mood people are in. Well, these are factors that matter just as much as how satisfied the customers are with the service they receive.
Yeah, because with the service, whether it's good or bad, you're tipping them money. So the next time you come in there, they remember who you are. They know who you are. Then all of a sudden, the service is a little bit different than it was the first time you were there.
I think you're going to remember somebody that tips you horribly more than somebody that tips you very well.
Really? Well, that's true.
I do. I seriously do.
Yeah.
Even though you're going to remember somebody that tips you very well, you're going to want to go back to them because they tipped you well. I think you're going to remember somebody that didn't tip you well more than somebody that tipped you well, because you're going to want to basically restrict yourself from going even near that person, and you'll take the chance with somebody else because you already know deep down inside they're not going to tip you very well. You know that already. Yeah. So anything that somebody else that you don't know is going to tip you has to be better than the person that you're weighing your options there. You're going to stay away from the person that tipped you horribly. You know what I mean?
True, because when we were in Vegas, when you're sitting by the machines, whatever, as long as you're gambling, they bring you free drinks, right? So the waitresses are actually being paid, very minimal, but yet they're getting the money from the tips that you give them when they come to your machine or whatever.
Right.
I'm telling you what, if they came to our machine, even we were having a good time, but if they didn't come there as often, it's like you have to wait and wait and wait and wait. In some places, they just did not recognize you. So they got tipped pretty poorly, and of course they would get a verbal tip as to what to do next to get more of a tip. But if we went to someplace else, they were there, boom, boom, boom. If the more fun that you had with the person that was serving you, if you were teasing them or her, just having a good time, out talking to them and so forth, not only did you get better service, but they also received a better tip. They were there continually, so they were always returning because they knew they were going to get something from it. Now, whether or not it was, their attitude was based upon the money that they were receiving was probably a whole lot different. But that was the experience we had out there, is that the more you tipped them, the more fun that you had with them. You involved them with a conversation and you kind of brought them out of their shell.
Yeah.
The better service and, the tip equated that.
Right. If you were to go up to somebody, and I know people that are in the service industry, whether they're a waiter or waitress, or somebody that basically caters to somebody, and they live off of the tips. How many nonsensical stories you're going to hear from people that are either a waiter or a waitress? You're probably going to hear the absurd stories of the people that happen to be horrible tippers versus the ones that tip them a lot of money. I'm serious. I think you're going to want to, because you're going to hear stories. The person that received the low tips from people that maybe over and over, maybe they were in an industry where they couldn't restrict themselves from serving that person again. They just so happened to serve him again. They forgot. You're going to hear the story from that person in the service industry of how horrible, say, some of the tippers are versus, say, a very big, and you'll hear of a very big tip that individual received. But I think you're going to hear of the bad moments, the moments where they received literally nothing. Imagine you're working and it's a $70 bill and you're tipped a couple of bucks. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, come on now. Cheapskate.
Usually there's a minimum depending on if
you
15 or more people, then there is a mandatory tip. But what concerns me, I don't know, it's just, I'm always afraid because somebody else is now handling my food. Somebody else is now handling my drink. If I don't tip them right and treat them with respect, I'm afraid they're going to spit in my food because I'm stupid. So I try to remain on the good side.
Now, this is part of this article on NPR.org. That's NPR.org, talking about the study showing that the size of the tip has nothing to do with the quality of service, or very low, a very small thing to do with the quality of service. Jessica Gibson, a waiter or a waitress, although many people, and this is another debate in itself, I think, you could talk about whether you would consider a female a waiter or a waitress. Believe it or not, many people just say waiter, but I say waitress. Anyhow, Jessica Gibson, a waitress at an Irish pub in Tulsa, Oklahoma, now believes that the harder she works, the greater her tips are. That's what she feels. Yet, she also admits, folks, that when she's a customer, she's on the opposite end. She always leaves a 20% tip, regardless of the quality of service. And I've noticed that, too, for me. If I were to place myself in the position of somebody that's tipping, if I'm at a restaurant, I'll tip somebody, say, I don't know, if it's a $25 bill, I'll tip somebody $6 or $7, even if the quality is poor. I will. Just because, what's the point? Just tip them. It's $7. But then again, you're also feeding into poor service if you tip them a decent-sized amount of money. You're feeding into it. So that basically is telling the poor person, the individual that conducted poor service, that it's okay for them to be bad at their job, in other words. So you're basically feeding into that. So if you were to tip them poorly, say only $1, because the quality of service sucked that bad, you're hoping that's going to affect that individual in a way that they're not going to want to, say, conduct poor service ever again. You know what I mean?
It's true, because I'm kind of a person that does that too. I do it a sneaky way because I feel bad. If someone's treated me maybe poorly or it was really a horrible service, then I'll take their tip and it'll be put under, I lessen the tip, maybe $2. I'll put it on the table under the plate and hurry up and get the heck out of there. So they don't know. They don't, because I feel embarrassed when I do something like that. But still, I expect when I'm going there, I'm being, I'm going there to that particular business. I want to be treated with respect. And, sometimes there are waiters out there that just do not do it. They have a really snobby attitude. It kind of ticks me off, puts me in bad mood. So therefore, bad tip.
Right. I think we should all revolt and literally, if somebody is conducting poor service, if somebody is nasty, if somebody is not doing the job the way they're supposed to be doing, you notice, they're not up to your standards. Tip them how you feel. How do you feel they did? Tip them based on that. And don't feel ashamed to do so, because imagine that indicating factor has a lot to do with the quality of waiters out there, the quality of waitresses out there. the quality of somebody mowing your lawn, the quality of somebody painting your room. These are all service industries where they literally live off of tips. Even if you're a dancer, for that matter, an exotic dancer. If somebody's dancing well, you're going to tip them. You're going to, they're going to be filling their G-string with dollar bills. But if they're not dancing up to your standards, well, you're not going to tip them. I think we should
You do ask for change.
There you go. I think we should all get together and start tipping based on quality, because what if we just continue to just tip regardless of quality? That's going to, if you think about it in the long run, that's going to diminish the quality of services all over the place. I think so.
Yeah, because don't we work, when we find out that we're going to be up for a raise, don't we work a little harder?
Right.
So, same thing. Yeah, I agree with you that they should give us the service not that we deserve, because people think that nobody deserves anything.
Right.
But I think this is I think that's what we should do. In the beginning, I thought that's what a lot of people did. I thought I was different because, I just I didn't want someone spitting in my food.
The thing is, and I think this is a point to bring up, because it plays a massive role in the studies that were conducted. It plays a massive role in what we're talking about here, that if somebody is conducting poor service, say they're a waiter or a waitress, and you tip them very well, what you're hoping is the next time they, say, conduct maybe their service to somebody else, or maybe they see you again, you hope that they're going to change it around and maybe do a better job. That you're basing it off of the future. You're focusing on future future situations and so forth with that individual. Future encounters with this waiter or this waitress that was horrid, that did a horrible job, and a $30 bill, you gave them $8, and normally you would give them $1 or $2 if seeing that they were horrible. But you're hoping the next time you go to that restaurant, if you do happen to get that waiter or a waitress, you hope that it's not going to be a poor encounter anymore. You hope it's going to be a positive experience, because they remember, oh wait, this person did tip me $8, and deep down inside, I know I did a horrible job. I did. So I'm going to change it around, and I'm going to do a better job this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My friend does it the Anna way. She takes the $20 and puts it on the table. That's the beginning tip, okay? And so as the meal progresses, or whatever we're doing at a certain venue,
right,
if the service is bad, she starts taking away the money. Then it'll be $15 sitting on the table.
Yeah, literally show them. Literally keep the money out there.
Yeah,
keep
so she rates them as
there you go.
The event progresses.
That is awesome. I idolize. Who is this?
It's a friend of mine.
I idolize your friend. Tony, is it?
Tanya.
I idolize Tanya for doing that. Keep the money out there, and go above your boundaries, even if you have the money. Go above it. So you don't know what the bill's going to be, so start at $15 or $20 even. You know you're going to take away money anyway. Even if they're doing a great job, you're going to take money away, because you're basically setting the bar at a level you want them to conduct service that's going to be to up to your standards and so forth. You're obviously, if they're doing a great job, seeing that you're not going to tip them $20 unless the bill is high. You're going to take away that a few dollars here and there, but you're going to leave at least $10 if they're doing a great job. So you take away $10 and it goes down to $10, and they know they're going to receive a decent tip. So it just motivates the person that's maybe waitering or waitressing to do a better job, to continue doing a good job for you.
Yeah, right. She'll put that in. This is a top tip. Let's see what you can do for me.
Right. No, I think that's a great idea. I idolize Tanya for doing that. Absolutely. Now, Michael Lynn, who's a professor at Cornell School of Hotel Administration, who's also a former waiter at Pizza Hut, he states there is another explanation to these studies. We tip because we feel guilty about having people wait on us. It's a way of saying, here, have a drink on me when you're done working. This is the social pressure theory of tipping, folks. An idea first put forward by anthropologist George Foster. Yeah, this theory explains why we tip some people but not others. We tend to tip in places where we're having a lot more fun than the people who are serving us, say bars, restaurants, cruise ships. But we usually don't tip in grocery stores or, say, dentists' offices. It's interesting. That's an interesting point that's brought up there.
Tip a dentist? It's called pain.
It depends what pain pills you're on. Depends
Yeah.
whether they drugged you up after the root canal or something like that, or the
There's
extraction.
extra 50 in it for you if I have no pain.
Exactly, exactamundo. I mean, it's so true. It's so true that these studies were conducted, even though another study or studies that were conducted really just common knowledge and so forth that, or maybe not as common knowledge, because you would think if somebody's doing a poor job, you're not going to tip them as much, but we do anyway. However, there are multiple factors, and you and I went into those multiple factors, and I'm glad we did that because it really maybe we can lead a revolution, maybe change the quality of service out there. Let's not be so lenient. Let's not be so lenient when we tip, even if somebody is doing a good job. Put the pressure on them. You're still going to tip them well deep down inside, but let them work for their dollar, so forth. But if somebody's doing a poor job, forget it. Tip them horribly. They don't deserve your money if they're doing a bad job. They don't. They don't. I don't think so. I don't.
They don't.
I'm going to change.
Don't we come back to those same people? Even if we get poor service, we always come back. I don't know if, because we like the food, we like, the atmosphere maybe, but we always seem to come back even though we got the poor service in the first place.
Right. Well, yeah, that's another thing, because you don't want one waiter or one waitress to define the quality of the whole restaurant. There are other waiters and waitresses and staff members that are actually doing their job. So you hope that maybe you won't get them again, or maybe if you tip them well, that even if you do get them the next time, they're going to do a better job when they wait on you. If they don't, well, then you can either complain or continue to tip them poorly, and that's just the way it is. That you don't necessarily want to base the entire restaurant's quality off of one person. All right. We do have to move into Ronnie's movie report. I don't even know what you went to go see. I didn't even find out. As a matter of fact, you left literally. I didn't even see you leave. I didn't even see you get off Skype to leave. So
I didn't either.
You didn't either. I guess. Well, what were you in a trance when you went to go see the movie? Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, what do you say? We head into Ronnie's movie report. What do you say? You ready to deliver your movie report to us, Ronnie?
Yes.
All right, here we go, folks. Ronnie's movie report for episode number 286 of the show. Take two.
Get your tickets and popcorn ready, because it is time to take a break from the critics. It's Ronnie's movie report.
No, that's interesting. Is take a break from the critic, because really I don't know if you don't want to maybe place yourself in the critic category. You'd rather just be a reviewer, somebody that is not going to bash every movie that you see and so forth. No, Ronnie's a movie.
Everyone.
Ronnie's a movie reviewer, and she enjoys it. So, what movie did you go see, Ronnie?
This one was different. Now, this is not. I went to go see Super 8. This is not the hotel.
Okay, I've heard great things about it.
I was intrigued. I was like glued. Especially everybody else was glued when they were watching this. Oh my gosh. It's J.J. Abrams. Oh, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
Teamed up with Steven Spielberg. So when you have Steven Spielberg in it, you are getting top of the line deal. He's going to put everything out there. The cast was absolutely amazing. Everybody fed off of everybody. There was no one that actually just stood out. That empty storyline. You have multiple storylines that are going on all at the same time. So it still does not require a GPS system or a scorecard to figure out the movie. But it starts out in a small town. It's in the late 1970s. Hint, hint. Queen is played a lot in here, and also is an REO Speedwagon. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Well, I want all that on as soon as this comes out on DVD. It has Joel Courtney, who plays Joe Lamb, who is actually the lead in this entire movie. He plays one of the 8, which are a bunch of teenagers under the age of 14 that are getting together to make a movie of their own. Therefore, Super 8, the 8-reel video camera.
Right.
They're making their own movie. It could be a zombie movie to go into the film festival for teenagers. Unfortunately, when they were going to go make one of their videos involving the train and a love scene between two of the teenagers, the train crashes. A horrific accident.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, then you find out it's not such an accident, and there's something behind it. Of course, when you have Steven Spielberg in there, there's always something behind an accident.
Oh, he's just amazing. He really
Oh,
is.
he does. He'll
is.
make something out of nothing, and then you're like, whoa, that could actually happen.
Right.
Kyle Chandler, who plays Joe's father, was his Jackson Lamb, is the sheriff in the movie, and he actually has to take on the entire lead of 12,000 people in this town because we have a train that has crashed. The military is involved. It's an Air Force train that is transporting something that is not so friendly to the surrounding town. We have dogs missing, people missing. You have a zombie aspect. You have the make-believe versus reality. Entire cast. You have to see this movie. It is one of those that you want to, you'll keep on DVD for a long time and keep there because you can always go back and watch it. That's one of Steven Spielberg's greatest, I think. One of his attributes is that his movies go on and on and on and on and stay there. It is a creepy, phenomenal movie based in the late 1970s. I suggest you go see it. I'd give it about a 7.5.
7.5 out of 10. I've heard nothing but excellent reviews. I really have.
It keeps you intrigued.
Right. Well, if you like those types of movies, if it's right up your alley, if you like the thrillers, you like the mystery type movies, sci-fi movies, and if you like J.J. Abrams and of course Steven Spielberg, you're gonna more than likely enjoy it.
You're glued to the screen the entire time.
Yeah.
And it's one of those movies that you think you've got it figured out, and then you think, then you find out you don't, and then you find out that you think you do again, and at the end you find out you never had it to begin with.
You know what? You know the Movie Phone guy, right? Mr. Movie Phone?
Uh-huh.
He's one of the most renowned critics out there, and I want to give full credit to the Movie Phone guy. This is his review. It's 6secondreviews.com. I want you to check that website out. It is an awesome website, and I want to hear what he had. I don't even know what he had to say about Super 8. We're gonna find out right now. Let's see if we could get it up here. Super 8. Thought I had it. Do I have it? I don't know. Do I? I'm gonna go to 6secondreviews.com. See if I have it. Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, here we go. I believe this is it.
Mr. Movie Phone 6-second review starts now.
Kind of an E.T. meets Cloverfield meets the Goonies. The alien buddy flick Super 8 ain't super great, but it's still pretty good. I'm in.
6-second reviews are brought to you by...
So there you have it. He's in. He enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've heard nothing but great reviews, good reviews on this movie. So I'm glad you did enjoy it. 7.5 out of 10. Ronnie's review of the movie Super 8. And so forth. I'll always look forward to what you have to say about the movies you go to see. You see a lot of movies, Ronnie. Now that you do a review every week, you see a lot of movies, huh? So the movie theater around you must be doing quite well. Must be loving you. I can only imagine they must be loving your business. You're always. Do you go to the same one? That you should. Yeah, there you go. Well, then again, I don't think they need your tips. They make enough on a ticket as is. How much is a ticket to go to the movie theater near you?
I get a military discount, so yeah, for me right now it's $7.50.
$7.50. It's about $11 around me to go to see a movie. It's a lot of money to see one. It's like they're turning you off because of the price of the tickets. They're that expensive.
And then, heaven forbid, you want to eat something or you need a drink.
That's another factor. Right? You're going to spend, if you go with, say, one or two friends, say one friend, you go with a friend, you're going to spend at least $30-$35 on two people. At least. If you go with a few people, you can spend at least $50-$60 on tickets and food. Easily.
Unless you do it the Ronnie way.
Oh, well, yeah, sneaking food in and drinks. You wonder how many people do that more than ever now because of the price of food. They don't.
Yeah, I'll pay for the ticket, but you think I'm paying $8 for a drink out of your mind?
You're gonna pay $5.50 for a small box of candy, where you can get a gigantic bag of candy for less than half of that price at the store. It's highway robbery right there.
It is.
I want to know where they get the right to charge that amount of money. They know. Well, listen, you're there on demand. You're probably hungry. You enjoy watching. You enjoy eating while you're watching a movie. You're probably very thirsty. Maybe somebody's eating on screen. They're making you very hungry, or they're making you very thirsty.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna go eat.
The previews.
Right. They try and lure you in. It's all a strategy. And if you ever notice, try and notice some of the previews that are going on before the movie, or you notice product placement in certain parts of every movie. They'll make you hungry. Ever watch, say, TV show Sopranos? You know how I have to say that grocery stores must have been in boom times when Sopranos went on, or restaurants, say the Olive Garden, not to stereotype, but just Italian food restaurants, must have been doing very well when the Sopranos were on, because that show made, every time I watch it, makes my mouth water. I have to eat something. So good. So good. But
you know, there's no signs in the video at the theater that says you cannot bring your own food. So on a technicality, we're still not doing anything wrong, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
they
say fall on that legality.
They don't want you to, because they're not making any money off of that. They're only making money off of your ticket. They want to make money off of you spending money on food. That's what they want. But it's just lower your prices, and then I'll go. Yeah. Focus on quantity.
For a hot dog.
Look at it in a supply and demand way. How's that? Take Economics 101, please. All right. All right. We do have to go to the blast from the past on this 286th episode of the show Take Two, right here on the one and only Voices on the Net network. We're going to get into it. We're going to take the time machine into the past. That is right. If you're new to the program, Ronnie and I and all of you take a time machine, the time machine. I have to say the time machine, W, into the past, to a past discussion, and Ronnie and I have went into a lot of them. What is it going to be? Which discussion is it going to be? We're going to find out in just a bit. But first, W, it is time to thank our sponsor, W. That is right, W. This portion, W, of the 280 W6th episode of Take Two, W, is brought to you by none other than Audible.com. And we thank Audible for their generous support of the Take Two program, as well as W, the Voices on the Net network. See what you've done, Ronnie? Bringing that up. You enjoy my W's, and now it's coming out randomly no matter what.
Yeah.
Seriously, look what you started. Seriously. Gosh. All right, getting back to the... Sure, Audible would appreciate this plug. Anyhow, yeah. Audible is home to over 85,000 audiobooks and counting. Always new and great titles being added to their service each and every day. Well, Ronnie and I have an awesome deal for you, where, well, you don't have to spend a single dime, not a single cent whatsoever. We're going to give you a 14-day, a 2-week free trial, plus a free audiobook to browse the immense selection of audiobooks offered at Audible. So you have plenty of time to check out that immense selection of over 85,000 books, and choose your audiobook, your free audiobook. You'll have plenty of time within the 14 days to do so. In order to take advantage of that great offer, you go to audibletrial.com/take2. That is right, audibletrial.com/take2. Note how I didn't say the www there. For a reason.
I know.
W. Anyhow, audibletrial.com/take2 to take advantage of this amazing offer. 1 free audiobook, a 2-week free trial. Don't wait any longer. You will be glad you did. As always, we thank Audible for their generous support of the Take Two program, as well as the Voices on the Net network. So, Ronnie, what do you say you and I and everybody listening takes this time machine into the past? You ready?
Oh, I'm definitely ready.
Here we go, folks. For episode number 286, Ronnie and I present to each and every one of you your, blast from the past. Enjoy. W. It was posted. It became viral. A lot of people are upset at this, at what happened. We're talking about a 6-year-old girl. And people go over the fact that a terrorist could simply sneak a kid on. You would think, oh, a kid? They're not going to carry a bomb. But she went through the routine scanner. And I have quite a bit to add to this, as well as Ronnie. We're going to hear what Ronnie has to say, our opening statement, regarding the pat-down of the enhanced pat-down of the 6-year-old at an airport security checkpoint. So, Ronnie, what do you have to say about this specific controversial story?
Well, with this particular case, and I'm going to kind of lump them all together, but this one leads the front because of the age of the child. But, this is not the first time. Right after 9/11, this is when the pat-downs started, right, to where they would choose a select number of people or a certain number of people, and it wasn't based on what you looked like or anything like that. It's just it's a randomness, just like with your luggage. I was chosen when I flew to go through a search. I was chosen to go through at a different airport to go through my carry-on luggage. So it's not that you're being singled out, and there was no age specific. I witnessed a baby in a baby stroller. All of it had to actually go through the search process. So it's not the fact that it's the age of the child. I watched this video several times, stopping it, looking closely to see what they were talking about, groping. There is not that going on here. They are actually following proper procedure, and this is exactly how they were trained. The TSA agent did not single this child out. It's the fact that basically it's kind of almost like a number that comes up. The family went through, and they know that, and you are aware of that, and they are aware of that. It's something that they're not telling you, that you are and could be subject to a pat-down. Your luggage could be subject to be searched, but above plane and under the plane. So you know that when you purchase your tickets. So they were well aware of that. If they did not want that to happen, don't fly. But that's the way the rules are set and designed to do.
Right.
And it's just not saying that, a 6-year-old, well, they're not going to be carrying a bomb. But you know what? Terrorists come in all shapes and sizes, and they advance themselves and attach themselves to anybody and everybody. And the first time that the TSA agent did not do this, the first time that an act occurred, and we find out it's from a child or from an elderly person or somebody that's disabled, the public's going to have a whiplash against this. I mean, they're doing their job that they have to do to make sure that when you're 35,000 plus miles in the air, that you're safe. That is routine. So they're not really doing anything different than they did after 9/11. It's just that people are more coming, they think it's more of a violation, but you are made aware of that, just as this mother and father was when they purchased the ticket.
Right. No, I saw the video too, and no, she wasn't groping the girl at all. She was following the protocol, following procedure as she's supposed to do. And if you want to hear my side of the story, you go to the website. That's episode number 248 of the show Take Two, www.vonthenet.com, www.vonthenet.com, and you can check it out. So one of the many discussions that, of course, you and I went into, Ronnie, and a great debate that actually did ensue from that topic.
Yeah, I wasn't molested once on my trip. I was kind of depressed.
Yeah, you weren't groped. You weren't felt up all. She's like, darn it, wanted to be groped.
I know, here I am. It's
like we talked about it and I wasn't even groped. Lucky you. All right, that's all the time we have, Ronnie and I have, for this 286th episode of Take Two W. But we're going to be back for the next one as we continue our trek to the 300th episode of the show, edging ever so closer. We have to, of course, get through the 29th mini milestone first, but we are edging closer to the big 300th episode of the show. So let's hightail it out of here, Ronnie. We'll be back for the next episode before you even have the chance to miss us, ladies and gentlemen. But until then, so long. Much love to you all. Bye-bye, everybody.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.